Hey guys, what's going on here? This is Juwan here. This is the very first actual video interview for my 100 series, 100 Days of Awesome People here. I'm here inside in an awesome house right now. I'm hanging out with Liz Treiber. Uh, First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here to your home.
Yeah, thank you for featuring me. I feel so special. I think everything you're doing with your 100 series is so awesome, and I'm really happy to be part of it.
Well, thank you so much. The reason I brought you on to my show now, if you want to call it that, is that you're doing some pretty cool things here in the Quad Cities with the Student Hunger Drive. So go ahead and just talk to me about your role and what you're doing with that.
Sure. I've worked for the Student Hunger Drive for going on 6 years. I started at a very part-time position. I was the school coordinator, but I basically worked from August through November, coordinating just kind of being a liaison between the high schools and the food bank and helping them plan or know how to plan an event to bring in food. And the Student Hunger Drive, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of a twofold non-for-profit organization. We're about leadership and uniting the area high schools, but also helping feed the hungry through volunteerism. So it's awesome that we get to help feed the hungry and provide meals for those in need in the Quad Cities. But it's also so awesome to see the high school students get excited about doing something that is so selfless. So I did that for 5 years, part-time, seasonal, and then they approached me and offered me the position of executive director. And I think one thing that a lot of people can relate to is that I said, I don't know how to be an executive director. I don't know enough. I'm not educated enough. I don't think I can do this. And someone said to me, but you believe in this organization and you have a passion for it. So that's what will make you good at doing this. You know, you can learn a lot of things, but you can't learn passion. You know, you can't learn to get excited about something unless it means a lot to you. So with that, I had the courage to accept the position, and I started in July. And we're doing some really awesome things with the high schools. It's so inspiring to see high school students get so excited to help. But also this month of February, if this airs in February, the Student Hunger Drive has partnered with the Riverbend Food Bank to help area businesses get involved and have a chance to have fun like the students do and get their employees to pitch in and try to raise more food than they did last year during what we're calling the QC Community Hunger Drive. So right now that's what area businesses are doing. So if anybody sees a business that's participating, feel free to support them with a cash donation or food, and it all goes to the food bank. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize. The Student Hunger Drive and the food bank are two separate organizations. So not that it's not that big of a difference as long as people want to give, food, want to help feed the hungry, but the fact that we are separate from them is something that a lot of people don't know. So I like to clear that up and make sure people know that we are really focusing on the empowerment of teens through the volunteerism that they're doing. So
That is so cool. That is so cool. I actually remember when I was in high school and we were doing the food drives and all that stuff, and just being in the school, just seeing just how we so got into it. It was
oh my
insane,
gosh,
especially with coin wars and all that.
I love that, the penny wars. And then at UT, I've gone over the last couple of years, the entire gym, they fill up the entire gym floor and they spell out UT, and I love it. The teachers get excited, and I feel like one time there was a teacher who had people dress up. They had to bring in a canned good, dressed like your favorite maybe character from a book. I just loved how everybody
Wow.
got in. It was UT, baby. I mean,
Wow,
it was.
they didn't do
They
that when
did.
I was there.
Oh, really?
Wow, I mean, I'm actually going there next week to talk to some students and everything. So I'll have to see what they've been up to in these last X amount of
We
years.
don't need to say. We don't need to say.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's cool because you see that throughout all the high schools. Really, I remember a few years ago when the Hunger Games came out, one high school, I won't mention, but they were actually having like kids would run through the hall and do like crazy. I don't think it was dangerous, but it was like the Hunger Wars, like for to see which grade could bring in the most
That's
canned
cool.
goods. So yeah, they come up with the greatest ideas, and I could never even imagine some of these awesome things that the schools are doing. So I'm glad they're having fun with it. I love to show people that you can have fun and make a difference at the same time.
Exactly.
So,
It's so
yeah.
cool. So what motivates you to keep doing your best every single day with your role with the Student Hunger Drive?
You know, as the new director, I keep saying I'm the new director because I took over in July, and I feel like I got through the fall drive, and it was all new to me in that capacity. I'd done it as the school coordinator, but I never really kind of made sure everything was running right. And now that February is here and our corporate challenge kicked off, that's all new to me. So I will say to my husband Brad, I'll say, I don't want to mess up, I don't want to forget someone's name, or I don't want to forget to introduce someone, or mention a sponsor at a speaking event. And he says, you know what? You're gonna do your best, but at the end of the day, all of the food is going to the people who need it. So try not to stress. I mean, I want to do a great job, and I want to show respect and thanks to all of our sponsors and everyone that supports us. But his point was, don't let it discourage you if you think you can't do everything perfectly. Because I feel like it goes back to, I don't know how to do this, so I can't do it. I think to keep in mind the end result will be the same if you forget someone's name. Yeah, you might have to apologize later, but the end result is the same. And that's why I feel like anyone out there who hasn't kind of put themselves out there and tried something new, don't worry about it being perfect. Just give it a try, because the end result might not be perfect, but you're that much closer to maybe, whether it's feeding the hungry or living out your dreams. It's just put yourself out there and go day by day, and don't give up.
Awesome. And speaking of day by day, kind of talk about some of your daily habits, things that you do to help you further your own goals in the future.
Sure. I will say, I think there are a couple of different things that I do. As far as the student hunger drive goes, the first thing that I do, well, I have two little girls. So the first thing I do is I roll over and I'll check my email to make sure it's on my phone, which is kind of a blessing and a curse because you can't get away from it. But I'll check my email, see if there's anyone, anything pressing, anyone who needs something from me as far as work goes. And then, get the kids ready, get out the door. If there is nothing urgent, I think it's important to take care of myself physically so that mentally I'm able to put as much as I can into this and some other passions that I have. So I try to go to the Y. I try to eat healthy. I feel like one of the big factors that go along with hunger is obesity. A lot of people will say to me, and I think a lot of people don't mean any ill will, but they'll say, "What do you mean those people are hungry? Look, did you see those people? They're overweight. Surely they're not going hungry." And one thing for a lot of people to remember, that cheap food is not necessarily very nutritional.
Exactly.
So the size of a person has no bearing on their nutritional intake during the day. And so I think it's important for me to share that with my family and try to eat healthy because we can. We're so fortunate that we can go buy fresh vegetables and things like that. So keeping that in mind every day and trying to take care of myself because I know other people cannot. It's important to me, not only, for everyone wants to look good, everyone wants to feel good, but so that I can do my job better, to keep in mind the struggles, the very real everyday struggles that people in poverty and people that are food insecure are going through. So those are some of the things that I try to do every day. And one thing that I just recently started doing is meditating, which is something that is very hard to do, but I try to, I can't do it for very long. And I think it's something that people are always, you practice meditation, I don't
Yeah,
know
I,
if you've
I,
ever.
I think it's I know exactly how you feel. It's like I think at this point in my life, my attention span, I'm working to keep it strong. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So,
It is a
so
challenge some days, especially when you have a lot of different irons in the fire. You have a lot of different projects going, or, you're thinking about, oh, I need to send an email to this person. I got to stop and pick this up, or, oh, I need to edit this. I feel like the mindfulness that comes with practicing meditation helps me be better at every aspect, of my life. So that's something I'm trying to throw in there. So if there's any meditation tips you want to give me, I'm open.
I'm right up there with you. I'm
Yeah.
still working on that myself, but always working for a better tomorrow.
Absolutely, absolutely.